everyone, it's Claudia, and welcome to Take a Moment to dot dot dot. And that does represent the new topic that I bring to you each and every weekday that I hope will give you a moment to pause and think about what I'm saying and maybe even provoke you to tweak your perspective just a little bit. Today is Take a Moment to Lead. I was always amazed by a statistic where 80% of people follow and 20% lead. And it's a small number, but many are born to lead. But what does leadership actually mean? What does it look like? I mean, I have worked in corporate America for a long time, and I've had some really good bosses and I've had some really bad bosses. One of the things that has been such a bee in my bonnet for those in leadership is when the focus is on them. It's very important to understand that as a leader, we should put others first. We have to set the tone. We have to set the objectives. People need to be on board to know what it is we're leading them to and through. But it is important that leaders take a back seat and are servants, have a servant's heart. Because as a leader, we should be bringing people into the fullness of who they are. We should be training them, teaching them, mentoring them, but also giving them the ability to be who they are. So that's basically what I feel rounds up a leader, okay? And one of the scriptures I want to use is out of Mark 10:43 through 45. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be a slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Even Jesus served. That's what he did. He even washed the feet of his disciples. That's a servant's heart. He led them, he taught them, he preached, he had a message, and he gave them all that he could of who he is and what he stood for. But he had a servant's heart, and that's what a leader is, a servant to many. And then also I want to use out of Proverbs 11:14. Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. We are not lone wolves. Nobody should be standing alone thinking they know everything. We don't. We need counselors. We need advice. We need to be in unison and come to an understanding of what it would take to get to the goal, to meet the objectives and the strategies necessary to get there. And it is important for as leaders to give that guidance to the people under us, those who we are leading, so that they are not wandering aimlessly in the desert, basically, that they have a roadmap. And that's what a leader's role is to do, to give that roadmap and to guide them, but to also be in a place to be taught themselves and to listen to counsel. Another scripture I want to use is out of Matthew 23:10 through 12. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. But those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus, as I said before, Jesus humbled himself. He died in our place. I mean, talk about humility, talk about taking others' pain and sin upon themselves. He did it. He was the ultimate example of being humble and serving others. But when we make ourselves lofty, when we lift ourselves up, that's going to fall to destruction. There's a scripture which says, "Pride cometh before the fall." It's just that simple. So it is important for us to use Jesus as our example and to humble ourselves and to have a servant's heart, because the humble will be exalted in due time. And then lastly, I want to use out of Philippians 2:3. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. As leaders, we have a responsibility to those we lead. We have a responsibility. Their lives are in our hands in certain respects. So it is important for us to be in a place to put them first, not have selfish ambition or conceit. As I just said, pride cometh before the fall. And people need to know that as we lead them, as we guide them, we have their best interest at heart. And we all work in unison and together for one goal. So I encourage you today to understand the true leadership role, the true personality of a leader who can get to the goal, to bring people along with them, to not have mutiny, but to have those supporting them and giving them the ability to achieve what everyone is setting out to do. So today, I encourage you to take a moment to lead.